Dala Henolea Otenu, Abiamabi Iska Wabiako, Atakwados, Shemeka Kwados, Shemeka Lolam Mae, with Shamru Bene Israel, El Shabbat, Lasso, El Shabbat, Le Dorotam Beni Olam, Beni Bene Israel, Oti the Olam, Kisha Shekami Masa, El Shaddai, where Shemayim, where the Addis, by Omash be Shabbat, by Nafash. Wherefore the children of Israel shall keep the Shabbat, to observe the Shabbat throughout their generations for a perpetual covenant. It is a sign between me and the children of Israel forever. For in 6 days the Lord made the heaven and the earth, and the seventh day he rested and ceased from his work. Baruch Shemeka, Baruch Yemeneka, Baruch Torateka, Baruch Kedushateka, El Shaddai Melech, El Shaddai Malach, El Shaddai Imlok Lolam Ma'ed, Baruch Shem Kabol Makuto Lolam Ma'ed, Baruch Kabol Lohim Min Kumor Melech Elyon, Haluhu Lolam Ma'ed. First of all, I'd like to give all honor and praise to the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob, the great, mighty, revered God, the Most High God, who bestows loving kindness, possesses all things, who remembers the pious deeds of the patriarchs, the Most High, slow of anger, great in kindness, forgiving iniquity and transgressions, who by no means clear the guilty, visiting iniquities of fathers upon the children to the third and fourth generation. The Most High's work is perfect for all his ways of justice, a God of faithfulness and without iniquity, just and right and seated. You may be seated. Giving due respect and honor to a head in Israel, my father, Chief Eliezer. To the chief men, princes, brothers and sisters, I see unto the tongue of my forefathers. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom Lekah.
This is the holy Shabbat day. Holy, and ought to be respected and reverenced. This is the day that God has ceased from creating. This is the day that God ceased from creating. And there are rules and regulations to observe this day. There are things that we shouldn't be doing, and there are things that we should be doing. And one of them is having a holy convocation. Okay? So when we decide to serve God, right? Whenever we decide to make our mind up, because you're not going to serve God without a made-up mind.
That's right.
You're not going to serve this God and fulfill these commandments without a made-up mind. People, we are not going to fulfill these commandments if our mind is not made up. Because if your mind is not made up, you know what starts to happen? We fluctuate and we shift back and forth with God. That's when the test from God comes to prove yourself. If you truly made your mind up. God put certain instances right before your face to see your choices, to see whether you're going to choose righteousness or wickedness, right from wrong. But basically, a lot of people don't have the ability to discern. They don't have the discernment. They are not able to discern or tell the difference between what is right and what is wrong, because they only tell it according to their mind. They tell you what's right from what's wrong according to how they feel what is right and what is wrong, not according to what God said. So now, okay, today we're going to go into Deuteronomy 23. And then after Deuteronomy 23, we're going to have a question and answer period. Okay? So Deuteronomy chapter 23. We have to learn, we have to prepare ourselves. We have to prepare ourselves to serve this God. Because why I say prepare? Because the temptation, once we make our mind up, the temptations comes in.
Already.
You will be tempted. I say you will be tempted, and God allow you to be tempted, so He see what's your choice, so He can see what you are made of. Okay, go ahead.
Deuteronomy chapter 23.
Deuteronomy chapter 23.
He that is wounded in the stones, or hath his private member cut off, shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord.
Shall not enter into the congregation of God. So what is a congregation? The Hebrew word for congregation is quahel. Quahel means an assembly, a convocation. You know what it means? You know what assembly or convocation means? It's a gathering of people. These are things that God has ordained for us to do on Shabbat, on this seventh day. A gathering of people. And what makes it holy is what we conversate about, what we talk about. This is why in Isaiah 58, in Isaiah 58 verse 13, it says, it talks about speaking of matters, which means when we speak or conversate about things that has nothing to do with the day, that has nothing to do with God, that has nothing to do with His laws, we profane the day. Which means we can profane the day just by our conversation. Just by a conversation. So therefore, when Shabbat comes in, we gotta watch what we talk about. We gotta watch the things that we say. We gotta watch other people, because you may not be conversating, but then other people come with different conversations that has nothing to do with God, that has nothing to do with what's supposed to be going on today. And when we do these things, we profane the day. We profane the day. Tamshi.
Verse 2. A bastard shall not enter into the congregation.
Now remember now, he said, he that is wounded in the stones or had his private member cut off. You know who that is? That's the eunuch. And remember what God said. A person that has his stones wounded and his private member cut off is not accepted in the congregation of the Lord. Well, you remember reading in Isaiah where it speaks about the eunuch that kept God's day, that kept the Shabbat. Moses said that eunuch got a place in my house. Now we see how important it is not to profane this day. Just by upholding the rules and the regulations of the Sabbath day, God will accept you. This is why we gotta, like I always say, man, we gotta serve this God being cautious. We gotta serve this God being cautious, because there is no one here on this planet Earth that is inspired by God. That is inspired by God to explain and tell me what God means. We had Moses. We had the high priest. We ain't got none of those people here. We know what we have today? We have sick-minded people that explain the law according to their thinking pattern. They explain the law according to how they think. They explain the law according to how they feel. And when we do the law like that, it's not accepted. Because we are doing we are fulfilling the commandments of God according to our own will and not the will of God. So that's why it's very important to go according to what it says, word for word. Don't read the book and then tell me that's not what it means. Don't tell me that. And that's what people do. They read the book and then tell you that's not what it means. But it means what it says.
That's right, brother.
Tamshi.
A bastard shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord.
Okay, now, so what is a bastard? A bastard, mamzer, is an illegitimate child. Illegitimate child means not in accordance with accepted standards. Incest, adultery, right? What is the not in accordance with what is the accepted standards of marriage? What is the accepted standard of marriage that we read in the book? Not according to what we see, not according to what we think. What are the accepted standards that we read in the book? Okay? The accepted standards is when a son or when a man go to the father, right? And he asks for his daughter. And he marries her. Now, the only time they didn't have daughters that didn't have their virginity and had their virginity.
That wasn't
okay? If this daughter didn't have her virginity and she's living with her parents, she must have been a widow or her husband must have died.
Right.
Which means these laws were set up according by God by women that had their virginity. This is why they went to the father. It supports them. You can't go and deal with a female without going to see the father. So he went to the father to marry his daughter. Right? Now, when I went to ask this man for his daughter, I have to have the supplies. I got to be able to provide. I got to be able to shelter her. I got to be able to do all those things that is required of me to do for his daughter.
That's right.
I should not be looking for a woman to marry and I'm not even working. I don't have nowhere to put her. But this promiscuous, that's what Israelites are. Israelites are very promiscuous. I said Israelites are very promiscuous. And they try to lose the laws of God to back them according to them being promiscuous. Huh? So if you have a wife, you stick to your wife. You stick to your wife. You shouldn't be. We have men that have wives, but they're outside looking for other women. You have a wife at home. That's being promiscuous. That also is a form of the Hebrew word for adultery is tin'ah. Na'af. It means adultery, and it also means to fornicate. So I shouldn't be cohabitating with a woman that's not my wife. If she's not my wife, I need to keep and stay to myself. But people that have not made a decision to serve God do these things. People that have not decided to serve God do these things. Now, when we have fully decided to serve God, that's when the fluctuating will stop. That's when we will stop going back and forth with God. That's when we will stop going in and out with God. That's when we will start making decisions according to ourselves and tell them, look, we just came out of Yom Kippur, which was a day of atonement. All right? And we're hoping that because there's no guarantee that God has cleaned us from our faults. There's no guarantee that our iniquities has been relinquished. Okay? You know why? Because the procedure that gets done during Yom Kippur has not been done. The high priest is not here to confess the nation of Israel's iniquity upon the head of that scapegoat. We don't have that no more. God has taken that away from us. So I'm not going to tell you dreams and fantasies that your sins is gone, that your iniquities is gone. The same sins that I did last year is still on you. You know who has to get rid of those iniquities? You got to get rid of it. You know how you get rid of it? By not committing those sins again. By repairing the breach. That's what the breach means. The bridge has been broken. The bridge has been penetrated. You repair that breach by doing things that is godly. By fulfilling these commandments, that's how you repair those breaches. Because you don't want your iniquities to visit your kids. I don't want my sins to visit my children. So I have to live an upright life so that when my wife pushes out that child, that child the child is already being conceived in sin. He's already being conceived in sin, in iniquity, he or she. Why? Because iniquity, the sins of our forefathers, has been transferred through what? DNA. So everything that our forefathers did, you did it. We have to repair the breach that has been broken by our forefathers, by fulfilling the laws and the commandments of God, by walking uprightly before God, man. We got to get this right, man. We got to stop playing. Every year after Yom Kippur, we walk around here like it's a new slate. Like we clean. No, you have to be a different person than before. We have to keep elevating. This is why Genesis 4 is very important. When you read about Cain and Abel, God looked at Cain. He said, why is your countenance falling? He said, why are you angry? Which means there's no reason why you should be angry. When my father or my mother is angry at me, it's not for me to get angry with them. You know what it's for me to do? You know what I'm supposed to do? Seek out and find out why my mother is angry at me. And when I find out why my mother is angry at me, rectify the situation. Fix it. And that's what we're supposed to do with God. When God is angry with you, and how God shows that he's angry with you, when he puts you through certain trials and tribulations, when you end up getting hit by cars, when you end up in the hospital, when you end up in jail, when certain things happen to you, it's your job to think back and you ask yourself, what did I do in my life to deserve this? There is something that we have done that have caused this to happen. A lot of people don't think that way. A lot of us blame. A lot of us point the finger. And when we blame and point the finger, it creates a fog. And when you create that fog in your brain, it won't allow you to be able to detect what you did to cause this reaction, because you still blaming and you're not checking yourself. You're not checking yourself. I say you're not checking yourself, man. It is time to stop the games. It is time to stop the games. According to the laws, commandments, and statutes, God is against being bald. After Yom Kippur, I should see people growing their hair again.
That's right.
But guess what? The same people continue. Nobody's heads remain shiny.
Yeah, the head don't stay bald.
Heads don't stay bald. You have some fur start to grow, but apparently you don't fear God. You're not afraid. See, fear just don't come overnight. This fear that we're supposed to have concerning God, this fear that we are supposed to have concerning our parents, you have to build that. That fear has to be built, because we ain't born fearing God. Be for real. We ain't born there fearing God like our forefathers. Look at Samuel. He was a prophet before God at a young age, and God visited him. The little boy was laying down. Young Samuel. God came to him and called his name, which means the voice of God sounds like man. That's right. It ain't nothing to scare you. God called him. He got up and goes to Eli. Eli, you call me? He said, nah, I ain't call you. Go back and lay down. God called him again. He goes to Eli. Go back and lay down. But Eli is more up on it. Eli picked up on it. Samuel is just a child. God wasn't known to him yet. He's a kid. He just got given to Eli to be raised in the temple. Do we know the type of spirit was on that boy? He was raised by a high priest. He was raised at a high priest. He was a child, but he was a child to where a big enough child to where he was able to use that bathroom and clean himself. Eli looked at him.
Picked up on him.
He said he perceived that this is God calling him. He looked at him. He said, listen, the next time he call you, he said, this is what I want you to say. Speak, Lord, but thy servant hear it. When Eli went back, God called him again. He said, speak, Lord, for thy servant hear it. After that, that was it. God laid it on him. You know what that is? For God to speak to you? It's a whole different spirit that's going to rest upon you, man. A whole different spirit, man. A whole different ball game. Let's read.
Deuteronomy chapter 23, verse 2. A bastard shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. So a bastard is a mamzer. It means an illegitimate child, not sanctioned by law or not in accordance with accepted standards. So if I desire your daughter, my job is to come to you and ask you for your daughter. And if the father rejected, you got to accept it and leave that girl alone. Because according to what God said, according to the scriptures, if the father denies it, the marriage is not sanctioned. It's nullified. And if I go and snatch that man's daughter, God said that the father can take his daughter back. Because you snuck behind the father's back and took the man's daughter. And if you have any children without the acceptance of the father accepting it, then what? What's going to become of those children? Huh? So now, I wouldn't say bastards, because guess what? Look at Deuteronomy 22. It says, now what if she do have a child? What if she do have a child? Do you think that child is a bastard? Huh? It's up in the air, man. And guess what? You know why I have to say that? Our forefathers had morals. They didn't do that. They didn't do that, man. The things that our forefathers respected, we desecrated on. We had morals, man. Look, I went to a father before, and I asked him for his daughter, and he told me no. You know what happened? I left that man's daughter alone. I didn't go sneaking around still with that man's daughter. Huh? Another dude asked for his daughter, but he didn't respect what the father said. And he snuck around with the man's daughter and got her pregnant. He was angry. I'll never forget that. He was tight. And a man will be tight. After I done told you to leave my daughter alone. After I done told you I don't want you with my daughter. Come on now. Okay. Incest. Incest is also a bastard. Brother and sister. A man and his aunt. Uncle and his niece. You having children like that? Those are bastards. Any child that you have within family and stuff like that, inbred, bastards. It's bastards. Tom C.
Even to his 10th generation.
Now, a bastard shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord. So when you have children, right, like that, those children are not accepted. Don't expect those children to grasp towards God. Don't expect those kids to incline towards the laws and the commandments of God, because how they got here wasn't right. how the children got here wasn't right. So don't expect those children to gravitate or link or incline towards the laws and the commandments of God. You know why? Because God don't want that.
That's right, brother.
I said, God don't want that, which means not everybody is accepted. God ain't going to accept everybody. You think all of these Israelites is accepted? No. No. Let's read.
Even unto his 10th generation shall he not enter into the congregation of the Lord. Verse 3, an Ammonite or Moabite shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord.
Or Moabite shall not enter into the congregation of God. Now, who was Moab and Ammon? Moab and Ammon was the sons of Lot. Okay? Those was the sons of Lot. The Most High said they are not accepted. We're going to read why they're not accepted. Tom Sheik.
Even to their 10th generation shall they not enter into the congregation of the Lord forever. Because they met you not with bread and with water in the way when you came forth out of Egypt.
So it says, because they met you not with bread and with water. When you look up the Hebrew word, it means they wasn't welcomed. They wasn't welcomed. They wasn't cordial. They wasn't welcoming. They wasn't cordial. So they came out, they came towards them viciously. They didn't accept them. They didn't meet them with bread and with water. So because they didn't meet them or welcome them, this shows us when people come amongst us that is not a part of the congregation, it is our job to welcome these people that comes to your camp or to your place. That's godliness. That's righteousness.
Peaceful greeting.
That's godliness and righteousness. And therefore, we should not allow or make those people that comes amongst us feel out of place, feel like they're strange or they're uncomfortable. We don't let people feel that way, man. Intimidated. We got to watch our speech, the things, how we act, what we say, because I don't want them to feel no type of way. We have to be more worried and care more about how people feel, how they feel. People are concerned about others so that God can be more concerned about you. So that God can be concerned with you. Why? Because the only way to get God to regard you is to fulfill his laws, his ways, his commandments, his customs, his mannerism. All that is in the book, man. All that is in the book. Tom Sheik.
And because they hired against thee Balaam, the son of Beor of Pethor.
They hired Balaam, the son of Beor from Pethor. Balaam was a witch, was a warlock. They hired Balaam to do witchcraft. Okay, go ahead.
To curse thee.
To curse thee.
Verse 5. Nevertheless, the Lord thy God would not hearken unto Balaam.
God ain't hearken and listen to Balaam. Why? Because at that point in time, the nation of Israel was correct with God. We was right with God, man. There was no iniquity found in the seed of Jacob at that point in time. We was right with God. I was good with God at that time. Tom Sheik.
But the Lord thy God turned the curse into a blessing unto thee, because the Lord thy God loved thee.
Because God loved us. Yeah, God will love you too. You don't think God will love you? But the only way to get God to love you, we have to fulfill his commandments. Yeah. If we don't love God by fulfilling his commandments, like Exodus 20 said, love God and keep his commandments, which means love is action. So in order to show your love for God, you start fulfilling these laws to show God. And the only way, let me back up. Let me back up. First of all, what caused you to start doing the law? You have to believe. Belief triggers action. I said belief triggers action. Some of us acknowledge that this is the way of life, but we don't have the full 100% belief yet.
Right.
In time, right? In time, we will believe. But the reason why we have a hard time believing is because when we finally found out who God was, we didn't put the law into effect. We keep going in and out with God, so your belief gonna be fickle. It's gonna be very weak. It's not gonna strengthen. Your belief don't get strengthened by going back and forth with God, by violating these laws.
That's right.
Time sheet.
Verse 6. Thou shalt not seek their peace, nor their prosperity.
So there are certain people that we should not seek their peace. I should not be concerned with certain people. You know why? Listen, we got to realize something. Not everybody is good with God. And when people is not good with God, you can't be good with them. Because it shows that you accept their ways. It shows that you accept their opinions and how they think and their customs. Look at this, man. We read it right there. God said, read that over.
Thou shalt not seek their
Don't
peace,
seek their peace,
nor their prosperity.
nor their prosperity. That was then. And it was talking about Moab and Ammon. What do you think about now? What do you think about today? We can't tell, and we don't know who Moab and Ammon is. But I tell you this, we shall not be seeking seeking peace from people that don't seek peace from God. If these people hate your God, then I stay away from you. I don't hate you. I don't hate you, but I'm going to stay away from you. I got to keep a distance because like minds attract. I said like minds attract. Okay? Water seeks its level. Birds of a feather flock together. You don't see pigeons flying with eagles. You don't see seagulls flying with penguins.
Nope.
With nothing. They fly together with their life, with their kind. And how can two walk together except they be agreed?
That's right.
The only way me and you can walk, we got to agree on one thing. The only way I can rock with you, we got to agree on one thing.
That's right.
This is why all my friends, I don't cut them off. I ain't got no more friends. My friends are ones that think like me. Those are my friends. I may have allies out there, but my friends think like me. My friends serve the same God I serve. Tom sheet.
Thou shalt not abhor an Edomite.
Thou shalt not abhor an Edomite. But in Malachi, God said he loved Jacob, but he hated Esau, right? But that's not for you to hate.
Right.
It's not for you to hate him.
It's not a double standard.
God said that. God can hate him, not you. He said, thou shalt not abhor a who?
An Edomite.
An Edomite. Now, who was Edom? Edom was Isaac's son. I said Edom was Isaac's son. Edom is also Shemitic. Okay?
That's right.
The covenant went through Yaakov. Because what Jacob had in him, Esau ain't having him. God seen that. I said, God seen that. God could look in you and try your heart and see what you got in you. He said, nah, what this guy he got, what he got, he ain't got. Just like King David. King David was the youngest out of all his brothers. But what King David had in him, none of his brothers had in him. Most I say, he said, I don't look at the outward appearance.
Right.
He said, what I look at is the heart. I look at what you got in you. What do you have in you? Because according to what we have in us is what causes us to move accordingly. This is how we move, how we think, because of what we have in us. Now, whatever we have in us, when it's being detected, acknowledge it. Because you can remove those things. You don't have to remain that way. You don't have to remain that way.
That's right, brother.
I heard my father say, he said, I don't want to be this way no more. I don't want to be like this no more. And whatever it was that he didn't like, that was within him, that was like him, he got rid of it. He got rid of it. He wasn't that way before. So now, Edomite is Adomi, right? When you look up the definition of Adomoni, right, or Edom, it means red-haired. Okay? Esau was born from Isaac and Rebekah.
Right.
There was no color change back then.
No.
It was only until a certain period in time where the color change happened. But the first world was black. Everybody was black people. Different shades, different colors, but we was black people. Edom wasn't white. Edom ain't come out white. Now, when you look up the definition of Adomi, it means having hair of reddish, blonde, or orange, brown color. Then you look up ruddy. Ruddy means reddish brown. It don't mean white.
Reddish brown.
Reddish brown.
Yeah, red.
Okay? Now, if you read 1 Samuel chapter 16, it says King David was ruddy. Which means King David had the same complexion as Esau. If you read Song of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 13, it says Solomon was Zach-where Amat, or no, Zach-where Edom. He was clear. He was a clear-skinned brother, but he was red. Same complexion as Esau. Okay? Esau was not white. That was the greatest lie ever told to man. Esau wasn't white. He was a black man. That color didn't come about until a certain people or a certain nation moved into the cold region. And generations after generations, their hair got thinner, and their melanin, they started to lose melanin. Because in certain regions, it's less sun. It's not too much sun. Tom Sheep.
Thou shalt not abhor an Edomite, for he is thy brother.
Thou shalt not abhor an Edomite, for he is thy brother. Okay? Thou shalt not abhor an Edomite, because he is thy brother. But Israelites, Israelites still hate him. Yeah. They say he did this to us and he did this to us. God allowed him to do that. I said, God allowed him to do that. That's how low as God has brought us to. Why? Because God already said that was going to happen to us. Before we went into the land, the Creator ordered us and gave us a command and told us to follow after his laws, commandments, and statutes. If we don't follow after his laws, commandments, and statutes, what he said, the land is going to kick you out. We didn't believe God, right? We went against God and turned against God, and we became captives in our own land. Captives in our own land, and that was the beginning of it. That was the start. Tom C.
Thou shalt not abhor an Egyptian, because thou wast a stranger in his land.
Thou shalt not abhor an Egyptian, because he was a stranger in your land. Now, why God said don't hate the Egyptians? He said don't abhor the Egyptians. Don't abhor the Egyptians. Why? He said because you was a stranger in his land. He said don't hate them. He said because you lived in this land, which means according to the morals that we read in these, because you learn the morals of God when you read this book, which means don't hate nobody that accepted you in their house. Don't hate and despise nobody that accepted you in their house. When you come across a person that is able to hate and despise a person that accepted that person in his house, that person, you stay away from those dudes because they are not appreciative. According to what I read, disregard everything that Egypt did. That's what God said. Don't worry, because Egypt did us 32. But God said, yo, listen. The Egyptians didn't accept it because you was a stranger in their land. Huh? Go ahead, read.
Thou shalt not abhor the
Don't hate
Egyptian,
the Egyptians
because thou wast a stranger
because
in
you
his
was a
land.
stranger in their land.
The children that are begotten of them shall enter into the congregation of the Lord in their third generation. When the host goeth forth against thine enemies, then keep thee from every
When
wicked
the host
thing.
goeth forth against thine enemies. When we're going to war, he said, keep thee from every wicked thing. He said, dabar ra. Dabar means a thing, matter, or word. Right? A thing means what? Affairs, situation, deeds, or action.
Don't do anything.
So keep thee far from wicked things, wicked affairs. What is a wicked affair? A wicked affair is affairs that we didn't read about in the book. We didn't read about parades in the book. We didn't read about birthdays in the book. We didn't read about certain celebrations and traditions that Israelites has added on, and customs that Israelites has added on towards the book because it ain't there. Wicked things, or wicked matter, or wicked words. So there are certain things that we can say that can put some type of distance between you and God. All because you done messed up and said the wrong thing. Said the wrong word. Okay? Situations. Keep thee far from a wicked or evil situations. What are the situations that's concerned that are evil and wicked? Unjust acts. Things that are done unjustly. Tom Sheik.
If there be among you any man that is not clean by reason of uncleanness, that chanceth him by night.
If there be among you any man that is not clean by reason of uncleanness, that chanceth him by night, then shall he go abroad out of the camp. He shall not come within the camp. Now, chance by night is what? Chance by night is called a nocturnal emission. Okay? Something that happened involuntary, which means the semen, you went to sleep, you woke up, and the semen has left you. Okay? When that happens, you are unclean. You are unclean. Right? In Leviticus 22, it states that if a man touch you while you are unclean from that person is unclean. Right. A lot of people say, it was talking about the priests. It wasn't talking about, listen, then God said we're going to be a nation of priests.
Yes.
Do you really think we even came in contact? Because once that happened to him, God already commanded him not to come within the camp. You know why? Because just him being in the camp, he defiles everything. He ain't got to touch nothing. Just him being in the camp defiles everything. When people come in, his presence alone. So when a person see the compilation that's left a person, and you come within my house, you ain't defiling nothing because everything in here is defiled already. Right. Everything in here is defiled. We got chairs in here that woman sat on that's unclean. We don't know who died in this apartment. We ain't the only ones that, this ain't a fresh, anybody or any person that died within the apartment, everything in this apartment or in this room is unclean. The room that the dead body dies in, that room alone is unclean. We ain't sure. We not sure. Tom Sheik.
Then he shall go abroad out of the camp. He shall not come
out of the camp.
But it shall be when evening cometh on, he shall wash himself with water.
When evening comes on, he said he shall wash himself with water.
And when the sun is down,
he
shall come into the camp.
He shall come into the camp again.
Thou shalt have a place.
Which means what? When evening cometh on, you wash. When the sun is down, then you can come into the camp. It's a new day. It's not the same day. Because he wouldn't be able to come into the camp. He wouldn't be able to come into the camp. He'll still be unclean. the day though is not going to start in the morning.
No.
He said, when evening coming on,
Right.
you wash. When the sun goes down, now I can come into the camp.
Uh-oh.
Now I can come into the camp. Time sheet.
Thou shalt have a place also without the camp, whither thou shalt go forth abroad.
Okay, hold on. Question. The brother said, is it still Shabbat tomorrow since we did atonement? Well, the Yom Kippur, you're right. I'm going to answer this question, but after this chapter, we're going to have an answer and question period. So I'm going to answer this question, and people save your questions for after. As soon as we finish this chapter, we're going to open the line for answering questions. We got the link. If you want to come up on the link, you click on the link and come on up. All right. Uriah Leash is a sister?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, sis. Is it still Shabbat tomorrow? Yes, Shabbat is every seventh day.
Stop.
Every seventh day is Shabbat. A lot of people did the Day of Atonement Friday.
Yeah.
Some people did it
last week.
last week.
2 weeks ago.
When we did it what? Thursday. Because we stick to the Gregorian calendar.
Yeah.
We stick to this calendar. People are coming up with calendars trying to get the days right. You're not going to get it right. You know why you're not going to get it right? Because when we had it right and we had a chance to do the right thing, we did. So therefore, the only thing that is guaranteed is the Shabbat, which comes every seventh day. But I'm not going to stop observing Sukkot, which comes in Monday night. I'm not going to stop observing the Day of Atonement, because I got to show my God that even while we're doing it wrong, I'm going to stand up and I'm going to do it in this day. We got to show God that we are able to fulfill these laws, even though we're doing these days, even though it's wrong, so that we can get it right. So no reason to apologize, sis. No reason to apologize. Tom Sheep.
Verse 12. Thou shalt have a place also without the camp.
Okay. Monday night is Sukkot, Feast of Booths. When the sun set Monday, the first day of Sukkot is Monday. Monday sunset, which is Tuesday. Tom Sheep.
Thou shalt have a place also without the camp, whither thou shalt go forth abroad. And thou shalt have a paddle upon thy weapon.
Read that verse over.
Thou shalt have a place also without the camp.
Deuteronomy 23, what verse?
12.
Deuteronomy chapter 23, verse 12. Tom Sheep.
Thou shalt have a place also without the camp.
Thou shalt also have a place without the camp, whither thou shalt go forth abroad.
And thou shalt have a paddle upon thy weapon.
And then you shall have a paddle upon your weapon. Read.
And it shall be. When thou wilt ease thyself abroad.
When you decide to ease yourself, then what you do?
Thou shalt have a paddle upon thy weapon, and it shall be when thou wilt ease thyself abroad, thou shalt dig therewith.
You dig a hole.
Turn back.
And you turn back.
And cover that.
And cover it.
Because
we didn't have bathroom facilities. So when they had to use the bathroom or ease themselves, you got to dig a hole first. You drop whatever you got to drop inside that hole, and you make sure you cover it. Go ahead, read.
Well, the Lord thy God walketh in the midst of thy camp.
He said, make sure you cover up what comes from you, because God is among us at this point in time. God is among us. So whatever comes from us, we have to cover it. Read.
In the midst of thy camp. To deliver thee, and to give up thine enemies before thee. Therefore shall thy camp be holy, that he see no unclean thing in thee.
So guess what? When we are about to pray, you make sure that the bathroom is closed. While you make sure that the bathroom is closed, because that's the place that you use to ease yourself. So I don't pray with the bathroom door open. Before I pray, I make sure I close that door. I make sure I close that door. Tamshi.
To give up thy enemies before thee. Therefore shall thy camp be holy, that he see no unclean thing in thee, and turn away from thee. Thou shalt not deliver unto his master the servant.
That he sees no unclean thing in thee, an unclean matter in thee, and he turn away from thee. And what?
And turn away from thee. Thou shalt
now
not.
It said the Hebrew word for in thee is beit kasofi, right? It means that he see no unclean thing by thee. And when you look up the definition, what it means by thee, you know what it means? When God see unclean things in us, you will begin to start going in the direction of sin. Okay? Your path is not going to be a godly path. The direction that you take in life is not going to be right. Why? Because God see fault in you. God see fault in you. He see wrong in you. And he leads you according to the lust of your own heart. He leads you according to what you got in you.
Verse 15. Thou shalt not deliver unto his master the servant which is escaped from his master.
Thou shalt not deliver the who? The servant
which is escaped from his master unto thee.
So the master had a servant. The servant ended up running away from the master. But according to the law, God said, don't deliver the servant back into the hand of the master. Tamshi.
He shall dwell among thee.
He shall dwell among thee.
Even among you.
Even among you.
In that place which he shall choose in one of thy gates.
In the place that he shall choose. In where?
In one of thy gates.
In one of thy gates. It ain't talking about your house. It's talking about the city. The city. So when the servant runs towards the city, God said, accept the servant. Accept him, let him in, and let him pick wherever he want to set up at, and he lived there. He said, don't go and deliver him back. Tamshi.
He shall dwell with you, even among you in that place which he shall choose in one of thy gates, where it liketh him best.
Where it liketh him best.
Thou shalt not oppress him.
Thou shalt not oppress him.
There shall be no whore of the daughters of Israel.
There shall be no whore of the daughters of Israel, which is a very hot topic. You know why I say it's a hot topic? Because a lot of Israelites don't dig into the definition of these words. Okay? The Hebrew word for whore, it says quadesha. You know what quadesha means? You have quadesh and you have quadesha. Quadesha is a temple prostitute. Quadesh are male prostitutes. Quadesha also means a harlot. Okay? Okay? Now, a custom in ancient Babylon that all women once in their lives to go to the temple of Aphditee, Aphrodite, and have sex with strangers. That was a custom of ancient Babylon, where the women prostituted themselves. But according to the law, God said, do not prostitute your daughter to cause her to be a whore. Which means all the harlots and the whores was not of the daughters of Zion. The harlots that came amongst the nation were women of different nations, of foreign nations. So what is a quadesh? It also goes into sodomy. So now we're going to dig into the definition and what is sodomy. What concerns and what tells me what is sodomy. The only way not to fall under sodomy is if I cohabitate with my wife to have a baby. That's the only way. If I do anything other besides me going into my wife to have a baby, that is sodomy. So that includes anal and oral. Okay? You cannot do those things. A lot of Israelites tell people that they can do that as long as it's within their house, it's in their privacy, and it's accepted. Those things, none of our forefathers did that. None of our forefathers did that. Actually, the worship of Baal Peor accepted those things. That's what they did in the worship of Baal Peor.
That's their worship. That's right.
Tom Sheik.
nor a sodomite of the sons of Israel.
Nor a sodomite of the sons of Israel. Tamshi. A
That's
sodomite also is woman on woman, men on men. Some of us look around and they ask crazy questions. Well, the book only speaks about man on man. It never says woman on woman. I said, so what you saying? Are you saying that it's accepted for two women to get down?
No.
We shouldn't say certain things. Because God didn't create two women. God didn't create two men.
Right.
God created Adam and he created his counterpart, a woman opposite to Adam, who was Eve, a woman. Okay? Tamshi.
Verse 18. Thou shalt not bring the hire of a whore.
Thou shalt not bring the hire of a whore.
Or the price of a dog.
Or the price of a dog.
Into the house of the Lord
into the house of the Lord thy God. So
vow.
what is the hire of a whore? You have women that sold themselves for money. And when they sold themselves, you can't take that money and bring it to God.
Right.
I said, or the price of a dog. Read.
Into the house of the Lord.
Into the house of the
thy
Lord.
God.
Thy
for
God.
Any vow.
For any vow.
For even both these are abomination unto
Abomination
the
Lord thy God. Tamshi.
Thou shalt not lend upon usury to thy
Thou
brother.
shalt not lend upon usury to thy brother. Usury of money. Usury of victuals. Usury of anything that is lent upon usury. But what is usury? What does usury mean? Now, that's called interest. The brother comes and give you $20. When he comes to pay that back, he gotta add more to it. He gotta give you $30. He said, don't do that to your brother, man. Whatever he give you, allow him to pay that back to you. That's it. Tamshi.
Unto a stranger thou mayest lend upon usury.
Unto a stranger thou mayest lend upon usury. Now, the Hebrew word for stranger, right? The Hebrew word for stranger is nakri. It don't mean stranger. A nakri is an alien. A nakri are people that have not decided to serve God. In this verse, it is talking about the stranger that have decided and made their mind up to serve God. And then we did have strangers that came within amongst the ranks. But when we read, and it says that unto a stranger thou mayest lend upon usury, but when you look at the definition of stranger, it says nakri, which is a foreigner. You can give the foreigner usury. You can do that to a foreigner, but the stranger you cannot deal with the stranger by usury. Tamshi.
But unto thy brother thou shalt not lend upon usury.
You know why? You know why it says that in the Hebrew? Because God said to treat the stranger like the homeborn. They received the same treatment of a homeborn, of a person that lived within, because God is not a God that's going to cause you to stick out. I could treat this one that there, and I don't have to treat this. No, no, God don't move like that.
It's not unjust.
That's what man does.
Tom Sheets.
That the Lord thy God may bless thee in all that thou settest thine hand unto in the land, whither thou goest to possess.
You see how you get your blessings? When you fulfill the laws and the commandments of God. That's how you get your blessings. That's right, Tamshi.
When thou shalt vow a vow unto the Lord thy God, thou shalt not slack to pay.
When thou shalt vow a vow unto the Lord thy God. Now, what is a vow? The Hebrew word for vow is neded. Neded means a vow or promise, which means whatever. Okay. Come on. Whatever you say out of your mouth, you got to keep it. Whatever you say out of your mouth, you have to keep it. You got to keep it. Tamshi.
But the Lord thy God will surely require it of thee. And it would be sin in
thee. It will be sin in thee, Tamshi.
But if thou shalt forbear to vow, it shall be no sin in thee. That which is going out of thy lips, thou shalt keep and perform, even a free will offering, according as thou hast vowed unto the Lord thy God, which thou hast promised with thy mouth. Verse 24. When thou comest into thy neighbor's vineyard,
when you go into your neighbor's vineyard,
then thou mayest eat grapes that built at thine own pleasure.
So whenever I'm hungry, God said I can go in your vineyard and eat. I don't have to worry. That's why we didn't have beggars in Israel. If I was hungry, I went in your field and eat. If you was hungry, you could go on this person's field and eat. And I ain't had to push you or rush you out of there. I just can't go up in there with a sheaf and start loading up. I can go to your field. I'll eat to it. What'd that tell you? Their main diet was fruits, vegetables, grains. That was their main diet consisted of, which means they didn't need refrigeration. They ain't had nothing that was going to spoil. If they had milk, they used it. They didn't store the milk. When they needed milk, they went and milked the cow, milk whatever they had to milk, and used the milk right away. They didn't store it. Tom Sheep.
At thine own pleasure, but thou shalt not put any in thy vessel. Verse 25. When thou comest into the standing corn of thy neighbor, then thou mayest pluck the ears with thine hand,
but thou shalt not move
a sickle unto thy neighbor's standing corn.
Why it say don't move the sickle? Because the sickle you're going to take down more than what you're going to eat. He said pick it, take it with your hand, but don't use the sickle. And with that, I already got what was bought. And I'm going to say Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
So now I'm going to open the floor for questions. Question and answer period. The questions that you need to ask about certain laws, you can ask it. Anything about the diet, you can ask it. Things about, again, Shabbat, laws of uncleanness, the things that we should be wearing, things that we shouldn't be wearing. Any questions, you can ask the questions. Now, so the one question that I read in here earlier, Monday night comes in Sukkot. Okay, so I'm going to explain that first. Okay, Sukkot is Feast of Booths or Feast of Tabernacles, right? And not every appointed season you can cook, because according to what it says in the book, the only day that we should be cooking on, right, is the Feast of Unleavened Bread. If you read Exodus 12, it says, save that which every man shall eat, which means on that day, on the Feast of Unleavened Bread, on the first and the last day, you can prepare your food, that which you shall eat. But according to what we read in Leviticus 23, we're going to go straight to the verse. Sukkot, Feast of Tabernacles. I think that's the first. I got it. Leviticus 23, verse 34. It said, and the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, saying, the 15th day of the 7th month shall be the Feast of Tabernacles, Feast of Booths, for 7 days unto the Lord. Now, why I don't build booths? Because according to the law, God said you have to live in those booths. Wow. You have to live in those booths. Right. You can't go in the booth and pray and then leave the booth and come home. You playing games. You got to live in it. You got to live in it. And we don't have the means for that. See, these laws was given to a free people. A free people. Huh? We can't go and build nothing on the sidewalk because the police going to come and tell you got to move it. And when you tell them about God said, this is the law, you're going to let us say, hey, man, you're going to move this booth. You're going to get it up out of here. You cannot serve God in this land correctly. That's why Moses kept saying, he said, listen, we can't serve God here.
You gotta go.
He said, we have to go.
That's right.
We got to go. We can't stay here. But God continued to harden Pharaoh's heart so that he can show him his power, so that he can show him his glory. He hardened Pharaoh's heart against doing the thing that was lawful and right by God. In the same way that he can harden Pharaoh's heart, a lot of Israelites' heart is hardened against doing the right thing. No matter how many times you tell the person, thou shalt not, thou shalt. Man, you got to stop doing this. Man, you shouldn't be doing this. Their heart, God has hardened their heart to where they don't see it. They don't see it. Okay, so now it's on the first day shall be a holy convocation, a holy gathering. Ye shall do no servile work. When you look up the definition of servile work, right? The Hebrew word for servile work is meleket aboda. Okay? Which means what? Meleket means labor, business, or work. And if you think cooking is not work, then you got something different. That's work.
Oh, yeah.
Because it says meleket aboda also for Shabbat. For Shabbat. Right? It says now aboda is serve or servile work or serve. Okay? Okay. Any questions? Any questions? Anybody have any questions? Yeah, Shemini Azet is the 8th day. That's the 8th day.
First day.
First day and the 8th day. We gotta have a gather. We're gonna have a holy convocation, which means it comes in Monday sundown on Tuesday, and the following Tuesday is the 8th day. Huh? Is that a question? Where?
Please break
down signs and symbols.
Please break down signs and symbols. According to law in Deuteronomy chapter 4, right? Deuteronomy chapter 4 speaks about signs and symbols. And we was a people that didn't deal with signs and symbols. According to law, let's go to Deuteronomy. Naomi Lewi, I'm going to answer your question. I'm going to answer your question right now. Give me 1 second. Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse. Okay, there it is. Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 16. He said, lest you corrupt yourself, which means what comes after that is how we corrupt ourselves. Okay? And make you a graven image, the similitude of any figure. Now, in the Hebrew, we're going to go into the Hebrew. Peng tash kitun, lest you corrupt yourself, where I see him, and make unto you lakem fesel. Fesel is an idol. Temuna kal samel. Fesel is an idol. What temuna means? All Israel should know what temuna means. Temuna is pictures or likeness. Picture or likeness. Kal samel. Of all, samel is an emblem or an image. We didn't deal with symbols and emblems. Nowhere in the book shows you that we had a 6-point star. Nowhere in this book shows us that.
That's right.
Okay? We didn't deal with symbols and we didn't deal with emblems. Israelites should not be wearing 6-point stars. That's because right. The 6-point stars represent witchcraft. 6-point stars was used in witchcraft. The 5-point stars was used in witchcraft. Okay? 5 and the 6-point star. How I know? Because I know a man that dealt with witchcraft, and those was the symbols that he used. One is to bring evil spirits. One is to cast off the spirit. We didn't use no 6-point star. 6-point star is a demonic symbol. It's right. 2 triangles, right. Hexagram, united to form a 6-pointed star. Right. When you flip it, one represents male. When you flip it, one represents the female. Okay? Naomi said, can women wear fringes? Yes, women are supposed to wear fringes. But according to the laws and the commandments of God, we cannot wear blue fringes, and our fringes should be on 4 corners. We cannot put our fringes on the borders. You cannot put fringes on and you don't make no corners. And these are the things that Israelites are still doing after so many years of showing them the right way to wear the fringes. They continue to wear the fringes according to how they feel.
Right.
Why I said we cannot wear blue fringes is because in the Hebrew it says, this is why it's very important to learn the Hebrew, because in the Hebrew it says petil tekelet. Petil means a thread, tekelet means blue. That is the darkest blue. Tekelet is navy blue, dark blue. You have tekol, which is sky blue. Okay? So when you make your fringes, you use the darkest blue to wrap that fringe with the darkest blue.
That's right.
Okay? No, it's not only for men. Women can wear fringes also. The reason why it said men, because this was a male-orientated nation. When the laws went to the men, it's the men's job to command this household. Remember, God looked at Abraham. He said, I know Abraham is going to command this household after him. Which means however Abraham walked, he already ordained and substantiated the order in his house. Which means his wife followed and his children followed. So the woman can wear fringes. Okay? Any more questions? Any more questions? Yeah, we gotta start doing the things that we know to be lawful and right, and do it according to how we read it. That's the only way that God is going to accept it. We have to do it according to how it reads. If we don't do it according to how we read it, it's not accepted. And God is not going to accept it because we're doing it according to how we think is right, according to our own will. Another thing I wanted to specify on. I remember I was speaking to a sister about kindling fire. Kindling fire on the Shabbat day. When God said don't kindle fire on the Shabbat day, it wasn't talking about electrical fire. You know why? Because every time, you don't even have to plug nothing in. Every time you shut on and off the lights, what you think happens? But God wasn't talking about electrical, because they didn't have electrical back then. And we cannot modernize the laws of God to fit today. That's what Israelites do. This is what we do. We want to modernize the laws of God to fit this current day, 2025. And it's not going to be accepted like that. We have to do these laws in its current state, the way God left it for us to do. What did God tell us to do? He said, follow the ancient path. He said, when you find it, walk therein. So it's nothing wrong with plugging in something in your socket.
You're not kindling.
Okay, you're not kindling fire.
It's already running through.
No, you can't use the microwave on Shabbat. No, you cannot use the air fryer on Shabbat. Or the toaster oven on Shabbat.
Or the toast.
Or the toaster.
You can't toast anything.
Thomas, I have some. Ask the questions, Princess Naomi. Ask the questions.
Just looking for a paper.
Oh, you're looking for the paper. Okay.
Should
we be eating meat, especially chicken? Okay, now. Okay. The only way we should be eating meat, you have to make your own kill. Why I say that is because when you buy meat from the stores, God already gave us a commandment and told us not to eat meat that died of itself or torn by beasts. Are you sure how that animal died that you're buying from? No. Are you sure? No. So therefore, we shouldn't be buying that meat. The only time we should be eating meat if we made our own kill. Now, when you read in the law, according to the law in Leviticus 11, there is nowhere in Leviticus 11 that gave us a description of clean birds.
No.
Read it. If you don't believe it, then read it for yourself.
Find it.
Leviticus 11 did not give a description of clean birds. Okay? We only read about the birds that our forefathers ate. We only read about the pigeons. We only read about quails. And we only read about fatted fowls. Okay? Now, chicken, you're playing it real close. Because one time I looked at a Snapple cap. And the Snapple caps, see, chicken is a cross bird. It's crossed with a jungle fowl, and I forgot the other bird. It's a cross between two birds. Okay? And the birds that it was crossed with, they're unclean. They're unclean. And a lot of people say that the chicken is related to the quail and all that. I don't take those chances. That's not facts. That's not facts. When you look at the chicken leg, you have scales on those legs. A lot of people say all birds came from dinosaurs. And all birds came from this. Most of them did. Most of them did. But I wouldn't mess with, huh? They called theropods, right. I wouldn't mess with the chicken.
Clean birds in the book ain't come from dinosaurs.
Right. Exactly. What about, okay, look at the creation. Look at the creation now. When God created the birds, these birds flew out of what?
Water.
They flew out of the water.
Waters. Commanded the living waters.
Chicken was not one of them. Later on in history, this so-called bird called chicken came about. So you really playing it close. So that chicken came about through something else. I don't know how that chicken came about, but it wasn't in the creation of God. Okay?
Drums.
Are the drums a part of our culture? Okay, in the Psalms, it reads about drums. No, it reads about, I forgot, cymbals, timbals. When you look it up in the Hebrew, it says toph. Tau, kolam, pe sophie. When you look up toph, it means handheld drums. Handheld drums. That's like tambourines. A lot of people say, drums is a part of our culture. Drums are I never read about it. Every time where it says timbrels, it says tough. Right? When you read about tough, it's handheld drums. Miriam had a drum. It was a tough, a cymbal, and she beat me. Those drums are
demonic.
Used to conjure up spirits.
It's demonic.
To invoke spirits and send messages.
It's demonic.
So, Tamshi, now hold up. Are drums a part of our culture? I don't know if I'm asking correctly, but was that an instrument used in the ancient days? Yeah, we read about the instruments that our forefathers used. We read about the string instruments, organs, the psaltery and harp, timbrels.
David played the harp.
Right. Why is Sukkot 8 days, but in Israel it's 7? In Israel it's 7 because they're doing their own thing. That's why. Shemini Azeret. I missed one. Let me go at the QE. But if Abba knows all, then he knew all of electronics, right? And when you plug it in, it makes a spark. A spark is a spark, right? When not adding or taking away. But God wasn't talking about electricity. He wasn't talking about electricity. There are a lot of things that we read in the law that they're doing now that you don't see in the law. There are a lot of things in the law that people is doing today that you don't see now. That don't mean it's right. You know what I'm saying? So
This is
it's your choice. You know, I'm just teaching and spreading the law. Sukkot. Now, Israelites that observe Sukkot on the 7th day, it's called, the 8th, they're doing their own thing. It's supposed to be 8 days. First day and the 8th day. The 8th day is called what? Shemini Atzeret. You read about that in the book, which means the 8th day. Shemini Atzeret is the 8th day. Okay? Quails are clean. Yes, quails are clean. Quails are clean. Those quails are the things that God fed the nation, fed the people. The instruments we use are in the book. Okay, talk. 150. Any more questions? It's observed 8 days in the Dead Sea Scrolls. Okay? There's also 8 days in the book. When you read about it in the book, it says 8 days.
the first day.
Yeah, the first day and the 8th day. The law. Okay.
The law.
Okay.
We got it.
According to the law in Leviticus 23, it states the 8th day also, which is Shemini Atzeret. So you have the first day and the last day, which is the 8th day. The first day comes in Monday sundown, which is Tuesday, and the 8th day is Tuesday. It's Tuesday. Quails, yeah, I explained that. Quails is clean. Quails are what the Creator fed the nation. He gave the nation quails. Can we eat eggs? Eggs is the embryo, is the baby. Eggs is the fetus. It's compared to the fetus, to the embryo, to the baby of a mother. It's the cycle. It's a cycle of a baby being formed within the chicken. That's why when you crack the egg, you see blood in it, because the chicken is forming. They didn't eat eggs. They didn't eat that. I don't turn on the lights. The reason it will get hot, and that's causing something to burn. I also don't plug in during Shabbat because it's also causing something to be heated up. Okay. Okay. You can do that. That's your choice. If you feel you want to do it that way, you do it that way. If you feel you this is the way that you want to do it, that you want to get close to God, you go ahead and do it. But I would tell you.
She said she puts the lights on before Sunday.
Right. Okay. We used to do that. My father used to do that.
On the safe side.
My father used to do that too. He used to keep the lights on, and you better not cut that light on, because he all hell gonna break loose. That's what I mean. But there came a point in time where wisdom came to him. Wisdom came to him, and he said, "Nah, we can cut the lights off and on," because God wasn't talking about electric.
God opened his eyes.
So, but if you feel you want to do that, then you do it. I mean, you're not violating. You're not violating no law by doing that. So if you feel that way that you want to do that, then you do it. As long as you are not violating Torah and you want to take it to that extent, then you do that. I'm not up here to down nobody's question. Everybody's question is a right question. It's a good question. There's no stupid questions here. Every question is good. So you sit in darkness. Oh, I put the lights on. She put the lights on before Shabbat. Your preference can't knock it, all right? Just sharing, they say, put in, makes them spark. Not if you leave phone or chargers or that the battery dies. No, okay. That's the point. Yeah, I used to shut it down.
There's no spark with your phone.
Huh?
That's not what I told you.
Talking about kindling fire.
Yeah, it's talking about kindling fire.
We have to actually make a fire.
That's a fire. That's what it's talking about. One thing I need to speak on. You don't start the Shabbat when it's dark. You don't start the Shabbat when it's dark. Why I say that? Because in Nehemiah chapter 13, it says when it began to be dark, Nehemiah shut the gates. In the Hebrew, it says the word for dark is zalu. Zalu means when the shadow was cast, which means he shut the gates before it was dark. He shut the gates before it was dark. So you begin and start your Shabbats before it's dark. Before it's dark. Okay? Anybody have any more questions? Any more questions? Naomi, Sister Naomi, you found your paper with all the questions? She asked
4 questions.
4, yeah.
Good ones.
So if nobody have no more questions, we're gonna shut down. Tomorrow we will be starting 11 o'clock. We'll be starting 11 o'clock. Tomorrow morning, 11 o'clock. Share, like, and subscribe, family. Share, like, and subscribe. And hopefully we have a wonderful Shabbat. Any more questions? Any more questions before I shut down? Yeah. I have not found it. My memory is bad. Hopefully I'll find it tomorrow. Yes, we will have question and answer every Friday night. I will teach a chapter in law or 2, and then we go into answering question period. Hopefully you find your paper later, Naomi. Sister Naomi, hopefully you find your paper so that we can get to all those questions. Any questions concerning the diet? We have to learn to read. Everything we must read. Why I say that? We should not be eating nothing with cow's milk. I'm going to go into that now. I'm going to go into cow's milk and I'm going to go into sugar. The cow's milk, we should not be eating nothing with cow's milk. Why? Because when the milk is on the rate rack, the milk is, you can Google it also. They put the cows on a rate rack. And while the cows is on the rate rack, they milk the cows. They put them on the machine. They leave them on the machine to be milked for hours. When the milk uses up, when there's no more milk in their breasts, you know what starts coming out? Blood and pus. That blood and pus gets mixed into the milk. And they sell it. You're not going to see it. And they sell it. So this is why I give you some wise words. Not to eat nothing that has whey, calcium caseinate, or milk in it. Because you could be eating blood. You will be. You could be eating blood. Because of how they milk the cows. So what I drink is cow's milk. I mean, not cow's milk, goat's milk. Because they don't do the goats the way they do the cows. Also the cheese. I don't eat all cheese. Why? Because it's from cow's milk. The only cheese that is 100% clean are cheese that are made from Ireland. You have the Kerrygold and you have Old Crock. Those 2 cheese was made in Ireland. In Ireland, they don't do the cows that way. They don't, and they don't add rennet also in that milk. So, okay. And what's the other thing I said I was gonna say? Milk and sugar. Anything with sugar in it, you shouldn't be eating. Why? Because the sugar is processed with what? With bone charge. Animal bones. That died of it. Animal bones. It's crazy. So even if it didn't die of itself, it's still animal bones. You cannot eat sugar. And they process the sugar with bone charge, which is animal bones. So when I buy my sugar is turbinado raw sugar that's not processed. So the only sugar we should be eating is turbinado raw sugar. Anything with sugar in it that's not cane turbinado sugar is not good. You shouldn't be eating it.
Emunya Yisrael. Rise before the hoary head. Is it just for the homeborn, or should we rise for elders of the strangers?
Okay. It said rise before the hoary head. In the Hebrew, it says the Seba. The Seba means gray, right? Is it just for the homeborn, or should we rise for elders of strangers? I don't rise for everybody, because you may have a person and you don't know who that person is that you rise for. The person that you rise for could be a pedophile. I used to rise for everybody. I'd be on a bus and I'd get up and rise and rise and rise and rise. My father came to me, he said, nah, don't rise for everybody. You know why? Because you don't know who that person is. You showing honor and glory. You glorifying and honoring a pedophile or Gentiles and people that serve idols and deities. He said in the Proverbs, he says, rise for the hoary head only if it's found in the path of righteousness. Okay? Only if it's found in the path of righteousness. And that's in the Proverbs. So we didn't rise for everybody. Everybody didn't get that respect. I don't have to, and you don't have to rise for everybody. You rise for a person that is found in the path of righteousness. You rise for your elders that serve God, that serve the Creator.
Naomi Jones Lewy.
Hanukkah.
Do you all observe?
Hanukkah means the rededication of the altar. Okay? That was during the time when the altar got destroyed. And yes, you can recognize Hanukkah. There's nothing wrong with recognizing Hanukkah. Hanukkah ain't got nothing to do with gifts. All that was just the rededication. It means the rededication of the altar. It was a time when the altar got destroyed and it was and it got rededicated. It got built back. Okay, just like Purim. You can acknowledge Purim. There's nothing wrong with acknowledging those things. We shouldn't eat eggs. No, we shouldn't eat eggs because eggs is the this is what I use. Sugar in the raw. Turbinado raw sugar. This is the only sugar that we should be using. Any other sugar is processed with bone charge. All right. No, I don't eat eggs. We shouldn't eat eggs because eggs is the embryo of the chicken. If you leave that egg underneath that hen, the chicken is going to hatch, which is what you're eating the cycle of a chicken. That's like you're eating a baby, an unformed baby. And when you crack the egg, sometimes you find blood in it. Okay, sometimes you find blood in it. Our forefathers ain't eat eggs, so I don't mess with eggs.
Another one. Yemiyahu. Where is chicken listed as unclean though?
Exactly.
It's not clean. Not listed as clean.
It's not listed as clean, and it ain't listed as clean. Nowhere in Leviticus 11 states that the chicken is clean because they didn't give a list of the clean birds. They only gave a list of the unclean birds. So when God created the birds and all the birds flew out of the water, chicken wasn't one of them. Chicken came about years and hundreds of years after, from crossing. Chicken is a crossbreed of two unclean birds,
Right.
jungle fowl, and I forgot the other bird, and the other bird.
The bird is an unclean bird.
Okay,
Is in Munyan Yisrael, is exchanging rings during marriage a Hebrew culture?
exchanging rings. We didn't exchange rings
No ring.
because the wedding band is a hieroglyphic symbol that symbolized the sun. Nowhere in the book stated that we had rings during marriage. We didn't have rings. Nowhere in the book shows that we had rings.
Naomi Jones Lewis. I heard Chief Mikael say something about amusement parks and why we shouldn't attend. Can you explain again, please?
Yeah, I don't know.
Restaurants.
Okay, so there was a name, when you look up the word Mithraism, Mithraim, look up that word Mithraism. It consists of those things. Museums, it consisted of
Museums,
dining areas, restaurants. Okay, I have the history on it. I don't have it with me right now.
That's the origin of these.
It's the origin of it, right?
Okay, Yerimahu. God lists the birds not to eat.
Exactly, Yeriyahu.
So shouldn't that mean everything not listed is okay?
It don't mean it. No, it don't mean it. It don't mean it because according to the law, what did God list? He listed the clean cattle and he listed the unclean cattle. He didn't list, God didn't list the clean birds, but there's not too many clean birds.
You got the clean birds.
The clean birds already showed, the clean birds was already showed in the book. What birds they use, which consisted of pigeons, quails, and fatted fowls.
That's it.
I didn't read nowhere in the book where they used the birds that they used or they. But
A lot of people say quails come from chicken.
yeah,
That don't come from chicken.
No.
They're not related.
They're not related.
They're not the same kind.
So shouldn't have been telling people about sukinat. Not just sukinat. What is sukinat? Is sukinat good? Sukinat sugar. Okay. What do you mean? Sukinat is
He's
good.
got his raw
Yeah.
turbinado sugar is good.
Yeah.
And sucanat sugar is good.
Sukinat sugar is good, right?
You know, the raw turbinado, we push that a little bit more because that's more common. It's more easier to access. But the sucanat sugar is also good too.
Well, okay, that's gifts. You can give women bracelets and nose rings and jewels and chains. Ain't nothing wrong with doing that.
Yeah.
But that ring, that wedding
ring is
band,
symbolic of the
that's
sun
a
god.
hieroglyphic symbol that represents the sun god. But you can give chains and bracelets and nose
Not
rings.
for marriage.
Yeah, you can do that for marriage. Yes, they did. They went. It was the time of
Gifts,
It was Eleazar Damascus. He bought jewels and stuff like that.
As it is.
But I know not during marriage, but when you're going to marry a woman, you go there with gifts. Like if I'm going to marry his daughter, I can come and bring jewelry,
Right.
bracelets.
Like tennis bracelet.
Yeah, I could bring things, bring a gift. You can bring those things.
Right. What can Naomi Jones Lewis? What can our children do for fun?
What can our children do for fun? Well, I see brothers take their children, they go to the parks, to the swings. I take my kids to the park sometimes. I'm not gonna lie, I take my kids to the park, let them run around. Let them run around, let them play, jump on the swing, slide down, do things like that. Nothing wrong with that. As long as it doesn't link towards idolatry or nothing like that. But Chuck E. Cheese, go there and play games, go there with them and you supervise them. Make sure, I mean, nothing wrong with that.
Very careful.
You never use amulets for that. So,
He said, Emunya Yisrael. I know the duck is web feeding, so we shouldn't be eating that.
Duck. Yeah, I wouldn't mess with no duck. Nah, you're right, sis.
It was not because of the web food.
Yeah, I wouldn't mess with no duck.
But it's also
Yeah.
category.
And turkey, is turkey okay to eat? Now, according to the law, in Leviticus 11, you have the Hebrew word that when it says, I forgot the name of the bird, ger eagle. If it says the ger eagle, you look it up in the Hebrew, it says yanshuf.
The great owl.
The great owl. In Leviticus 11, you're going to read the great owl. When you look it up in the Hebrew, it says yanshuf. When I looked up the word yanshuf, it means turkey buzzard, which means the turkey came out of the buzzard family. So I don't mess with turkey. I stay away from turkey.
Turkey buzzard.
I stay away from turkey.
You got chicken buzzards too, man.
Right. He said, okay, so Great Adventure is out. Got it. Turkey go told, turkey buzzard. Right. Okay, Most High Heritage. Okay. Anybody got any more questions before we shut it down? King David said he will not sit with the wicked.
Movie theaters.
Yeah.
That comes.
Yeah,
Movie
and
theaters.
that's yeah, King David said that.
Clubs.
Right. But that was a height of righteousness.
Once you get to
a certain height or a certain level of righteousness, you start separating yourself from everything that is ungodly. That's the level that King David was on.
You don't go to no shows.
King David was on a level that he was on a level, man. And it was in Psalms 26. When you read Psalms 26, he said in Psalms 26, he said, I will not sit or dwell or live with the wicked. Which means he completely separated himself. Yeah. If you wasn't right with God, he wasn't rocking with you. He wasn't walking with you. Okay? Now today we gotta work. Yeah. It's hard for us to separate ourselves like that because you gotta work. I may have the appointments to go here. Something I have to go over here and do this. But things that I don't have to do, a man that has reached that level of King David, you're gonna separate yourself. And if you do it, you ain't sinning. You're not sinning. And this is what we gotta realize. You're not transgressing. But this is what you call the heights of righteousness. There are levels in righteousness. I'm not going to tell you that you're sinning when you're not, because there's no sin that says, there's nothing in the book that says that you're sinning. But this comes with a person with a made up mind to serve God.
Yes, to
where you have reached to a certain level where you begin to separate yourself from everything. Okay? Best and safest bet is to just go plant-based after changing my diet. David the Messiah. Okay. You know what Messiah means, right? The appointed one.
Chosen.
The chosen one. Yeah, he was chosen. Yeah, he was chosen. When you look up Messiah in the Hebrew, it says Moshiach. Moshiach means chosen or appointed one. So nobody got any more questions? And I'm going to shut this down until tomorrow, 11 a.m. Any more questions? I'm going to give you another couple more minutes. Any more questions? Shabbat Shalom. We will continue this tomorrow at 11 a.m. Shabbat Shalom.